there's still loads to play for in this test. I mean, whoever wins this test match, the next test match, will be able to say, basically, even if it's England, they'll be able to say, basically, we won this 3-2. And Australia will be able to say they won it 4-1. So I think and they've never won a series. We heard a lot about that yesterday as well. So I still think there's a lot on the game. And we don't know what would have happened yesterday. It could have been, interesting. I mean, Australia were really digging in. They might have set England a small target. You never know what might have happened.
Well, you don't know. I mean, what I would say is that England were on top. Weren't they, for all the time they were playing. It was Australia's worst week of the entire series. They played their worst cricket as well. So, that was all pretty obvious. And Pat Cummins was, at the end of it, he was quite, not triumphalist at all. It was, they knew that they'd retained the Ashes in a week when they'd played their worst cricket. So it was kind of a little bit odd in a way.
Did you see Gideon Haig's piece this morning in the Times? He says the headline is, "It's about time we shared the Ashes." And this is a point I made earlier in the week, that, it does seem wrong. This, if you draw the series 2-2, you should share the Ashes.
I'd be really happy with that. I don't mind that at all. It does, I get the whole thing about you have to win it off someone to actually get it, but other series are drawn and it doesn't feel like it's as big a deal. But when two teams have been so good like this, and when you do feel that every match could have kind of gone either way, maybe it feels a little bit more satisfying. Because even last time when Australia, they retained the Ashes, but they lost that final test at the Oval, the celebrations sort of felt, it was weird, and it felt a bit hollow. And I think it might feel a bit hollow again this time around if they win at the Oval. If England win at the Oval, and that they basically go, we retain the Ashes again, but it doesn't really feel like it reflects the series, does it? So I'd be really quite happy with Gideon's suggestion of sharing them. And I guess too, I also don't want to downplay the Oval and what the Oval means and how important it is, because it's been a brilliant series. It could still be tied. We had 3 cracking test matches, and then we had this amazing England fight back. So many things have to go right for a test to go down to a fifth match decider. I reckon we'd all probably maybe feel a bit happier, even some Australian fans who are crowing at the moment.
I'm quite fascinated as well. I mean, during the games, I'm completely mad, so I say some mad things. But overall, I'm surprised at some of the criticism. And Simon Wilde says Stokes may claim he has no regrets, but this is a huge missed opportunity. And you think to yourself, but without the approach that they've taken, we probably would have been hammered. Nobody would have really enjoyed it. It's a bit much to be critical of England, I think.
I agree with you. I love watching this England side. I really do. They're so entertaining. And the way they've played and the way that at times they've forced Australia to play has really made this series what it is. Australia's a really, really, really good side. They're the World Test champions, and they've gone toe-to-toe. The only thing Ben Stokes said he regretted when we spoke to him afterwards was not taking the catch of Nathan Lyon that would have possibly won the first test at Edgbaston, not for declaring in the first innings. Look, they've stood by it. It is really easy to say they could have done this or they should have done that. This is the way they want to play. We wouldn't have had the past sort of 16 months of incredibly entertaining, outstanding cricket that we have seen if England hadn't gone in. And I don't know if it works if you only go 80% in. There were times they're still going to make mistakes. They're still going to not get everything right. They are still going to drop catches. They are still, maybe going to play a shot that they could have left it, or, done some better fielding, whatever it is. These games have been decided on such fine margins, I guess you could say. So, look, I guess a lot of people are frustrated and feeling that, that the wind's been taken out of their sails a bit. But let's not take away from the Oval. They can still draw the series. We can still have a magnificent 5th test. And we've been treated to, well, I think one of the most entertaining series that I've ever been privileged enough to watch.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's been an absolute brilliant series, and credit to both teams. Shouldn't not. Australia have 1-2 they have retained the others. Should say that's quite a good achievement. But yeah, and England have had all the right weather up till yesterday, and every single moment the conditions have been perfect for us. But even still,
I don't know. I was there at Lords on the Saturday when Australia were bowling. The conditions were pretty friendly for them there.
Thanks for coming on, Melinda. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
Melinda Farrell there, Australian journalist and broadcaster. I think you're absolutely spot on, Andy. There's a lot to play for at the Oval.
Yeah.
And we just want another brilliant test match. And
we just want 5 days of at least no rain.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.